newstalk1010.com. Jerry Agar continues. In-depth radio. News Talk 1010.
Give a little bit. Give a little bit of your love to me.
Got plasma? Well, I'm pretty sure you do, actually. Maybe you could make $25 donating some of it. Have you ever donated blood? Have you ever been paid for it? I have donated blood quite a number of times. Probably not as often as I really could, but I do donate blood, and I've never been paid for it. I've never had a real objection to someone being paid for it, but now there's a fight going on in the province. As the Star reports, on the same day that Health Minister Deb Matthews announced grounds for inspection of a pay-for-plasma clinic, donors appeared unfazed by the brewing controversy as they continued to roll up their sleeves on Adelaide Street. Canadian Plasma Resources are collecting blood and paying $25, or collecting plasma at least. The CEO of Canadian Plasma Resources is Barzan Berhardus. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you. So are you right now today still in operation?
Yes, we are in the training phase at the moment, and we are collecting plasma at this initial stage, only for research purposes. The plasma that will be collected in our center after we go live would only be used for production of plasma-derived therapies. These are medicines or research purposes. They will never be used for direct transfusion into patients, like blood. That is the responsibility of the Canadian Blood Services and Hema-Quebec in Canada. And Canada at the moment is, and I'm sure in the future, will be completely self-sufficient through volunteer donors for that purpose. However, we are currently importing, last year we imported $670 million worth of plasma-derived therapies from paid donors in the United States. And this number will reach $1 billion before the end of this decade. The demand is increasing, and there is almost no Canadian production of these therapies in Canada. I think, unfortunately, Minister Matthews is, I'm not sure intentionally or unintentionally, confusing the issue for the public and other politicians, and portraying this as compensation for blood, which is not the case here. It's compensation for people who donate plasma for where that plasma is used for production of therapies. The reason that we provide compensation for these donors is that they have to provide a lot of time to us. Again, plasma donation is different from blood. A donor can donate
but you can
once a week.
Yeah, you can also donate plasma at the blood services too. They collect it. But do you do the same kind of screening that they do, both asking people questions and then testing the blood, as they do at the blood services?
The screening is almost identical. We both have to meet the requirements of Health Canada and are regulated by Health Canada. And we also meet the standards of the International Quality Plasma Program, which are above and beyond requirements of Health Canada. So we perform some extra tests, and we have some extra measures in screening people that is typically not done or generally not done for blood or plasma donors in the volunteer systems, because it could not be applicable to them. For example, if someone just comes and donates once, we never use their plasma for the creation of therapies. We actually qualify the donor initially. They have to go through a qualification program and be screened and tested on 2 separate occasions within 16 weeks, and then they can start to donate. And only after they're qualified, they will be compensated for their time. Again, the compensation is not for the plasma. Regardless if we can use their plasma or not, or the volume of plasma, they will be compensated. And the compensation is in the form of a charitable tax receipt in the amount of $25 or gift cards, non-cashable gift cards in the amount of $25. Again, it's because we require 40 to 80 hours of their time every year.
All right. You are then selling this product to who?
We have a contract manufacturing because currently, right now, we cannot complete the whole process in Canada. There is no fractionation facility in Canada at the moment, which is our ultimate goal here. But right now, we will have a contract manufacturing. The plasma will be sent to Europe for fractionation. The products will come back to Canada. We will only be able to sell these products into Canada. This is another false information that Ms. Matthews is providing.
Well, this seems hugely inefficient. We're going to collect the plasma, then we're going to send it to Europe, then we're going to bring it back and sell the products in Canada. What is it incredibly expensive to set up the facility to do what needs to be done?
Yeah, it would be about a $200 to $300 million facility at the minimum. So currently, it's not feasible to have that in Canada. First, we have to have the raw material. And hence why we are setting up the plasma collection centers. Then we would be able to go to the next stage where we can produce the therapies locally. Currently, Canada is the only G8 country that does not have the capability to produce these essential medicines, and we are almost completely reliant on U.S. donors, U.S. paid donors for our therapies. This is not a sustainable system that the minister is proposing. Effectively, by legislating or tabling new legislation, what she's doing is to make sure that Canadian companies can never compete with American companies on this soil.
All right, I'm going to run out of time. So is she going to shut you down?
Well, she's trying. She's going to table legislation. It has to be passed. I think if there is going to be a transparent process and there are going to be hearings, the truth will come out, and people and other politicians will realize that she's doing something unfair for the Canadian people and for Canadian companies.
I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Barzan Behardust, he's the CEO of Canadian Plasma Resource. Do you have a problem with paying for people to donate plasma or blood? $25 to make a plasma donation. 872-1010 is my number. In-Depth Radio, News Talk 1010. I'm Jerry Agar. Just talked to the CEO of an organization that right now in Toronto is setting up to pay you $25 if you donate plasma. They then sell it to a facility that will turn it into blood products that can be used in Canada. It's kind of weird that we're in a situation where we collect in Canada, send it off to Europe, it is turned into the products it needs to be, and then comes back and will only be sold in Canada. Right now, the provincial government, the health minister, is attempting, it seems, to shut down this operation. I don't know enough about the operation to know whether or not Deb Matthews, health minister, is on the right track to think there's a problem with it. But from the concept of paying people for blood, do you have a problem with that? Here is Peter from Whitby on News Talk 1010.
You know, Mr. Agar, I don't at all, and I'm going to be very brief and straight up about this. There's absolutely no reason, as long as the plasma is being screened the right way, for especially the last 10 years, the government, if they run out of any kind of ideas and they need to build their bureaucracy bigger, they're going to come in for absolutely no reason. Do they have to shut down private business like this? I am going to donate. It's not about the $25. I'm going to get out there and donate to this gentleman, and I'm going to be behind him 100%. A multiculturalism country as we are, everything should be together in the sense of private business. We should look at every aspect of private business. It doesn't matter who you are, what your religion is, or we need that now. We're being overtaxed. We can't, we're being strangled at every aspect of what we do to make money as Canadians.
Peter, what makes you so passionate about this?
Well, I'll tell you why. Is because on a daily basis, I work about 14 hours a day. Every dime I make is getting strangled harder and harder. So if I want to go out and make an extra $25 for my family, forget about the fact that it's selling blood. It's $25. If that's what I can do to buy an extra Christmas gift or whatever it is and keep the government out of my living room and out of my veins, they have no right, as long as it's proven that the plasma or blood byproducts are being screened properly.
All right.
Who in the hell is Deb Matthews?
Can you hang on a second?
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. Another Call of Fame nominee.
We collect Call of Fame nominees throughout the course of the week, and we play 3 back and pick a winner on Fridays, just after the 11 a.m. news. And this week for a $200 gift card to Mambo Cuban Tapas on Danforth, courtesy of Dine.to. Here is Peter, a different Peter, on News Talk 1010.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm well. Go ahead.
Okay, I was calling in with regard to the reaction by Minister Matthews. I listened to her last night. Her worry is all about safety and control. It almost makes it sound like these people have a reusable needle business in a back alley. She's talking about how well the government can control this stuff. It's federally regulated, not provincially regulated. And by the way, this is the same group of clowns that ran the regulation on Red Cross blood services that killed tens of people in Canada with their Hep C malarkey. They never bothered to properly regulate that. And when they discovered that they had got a very bad operation on the go, no one was charged. No one was held responsible because they were in charge. So since it's federally regulated, how come she can come up with the idea that they're doing it improperly?
Well, where I thought you were going to go a little bit with that, and you were kind of on the way there, is this is the same group of people who say that a private entity can't manage blood services, yet they were running eHealth and Orange and all of the other problems that they've had in their own department.
Well, I can tell you right now, if you take a look at the way the government of any government has been running this, the eHealth is a debacle. They're trying to build a database for health. They've got a fabulous database. It's called Revenue Canada. Buy it from Revenue Canada. Everybody with a SIN number is registered in there. And when they get into this other stuff, and I can tell you from personal experience, I was involved in a rather horrific accident this past summer. In the middle of summer, in August, and I had to be flown by emergency ambulance to a major trauma center in Toronto. This is in the middle of August on a sunny afternoon in Toronto. There wasn't a functioning Orange helicopter anywhere in Southern Ontario. Not one. These people are running that operation, and they think they can run blood services as well.
All right. I appreciate your call. Thanks very much.
Thanks, bye.
Good to talk to you. Raza, I only have a minute or so here, but go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Just to give you a quick background, I came from a background and a strong advocate on donating blood and against those who basically selling the blood. I usually don't agree with the current health minister, but I will second her on this position.
But if it is, Raza, if it is collected safely and the products that are built from it are things that we need and that's done safely, why would you care whether somebody got paid $25 or not?
No, Jerry. One, what the gentleman was saying, it's basically a compensation of an 8 hours. That doesn't make a justice of 8-hour compensation as a $25 at the first place. Right.
Well, that isn't up. Raza, how's that up to you? Why isn't it up to the blood services and the people who are donating the blood? Why should you interfere?
Secondly, the important part is what he was mentioning, it's a $300 million project. Well, extracting factors from the plasma, it's not, you don't need huge labs to do that. Even the Canadian blood services.
That isn't the issue here, Raza. The issue is, why is it your business if somebody else gets paid $25?
Well, basically, then you are encouraging people to sell this thing. Then you'll be encouraging people tomorrow to start donating the organs.
Okay, it's a conspiracy theory. In-depth radio, News Talk 10.